Okay, so the next two topics that we're having is the information architecture, right? So, information architecture is itself, again, as the word is saying, some kind of a systematic or documented things that can make us as a designer or maybe anyone else, right? Any normal person also, if they are aware about the technology, right? So that can make understand them about the information, or you can say that can give them information about a product or about any particular activity, you can say, right? So why I am saying a activity word here is a activity can be a small activity, right? Just adding a let's say money to our wallet, it is also can be activity, right? So a small activity. On the other side, we can have the whole user activity, the whole user journey also, right? We can have the all types of features that we are having. Again, it is a collection of information only, right? So when we have try to showcase the information in a well documented or well structured way, this is what we call the information architecture, right? So under information architecture, we can have a lot of types of. So one example is, let's say, user data flow, yeah, maybe let's say user journey. Again, information architecture also consists of information architecture also. I will tell you what it is, right? And let's say tree structure also. What else we can have? Again, sketches also, right? I'm not talking about the wireframes, sketches mainly, or maybe storyboarding. But storyboarding does not have the information or about the product, you can say, right? So yes, I mean, typically, these kind of things we can add in the information architecture. Now the question here is, what are the meaning of all these things? How we can create these all different things? What should be the ideal condition to use which method out there, right? So you can say these are the methods, different methods to show the information about a product, right? Just for an example, I'm giving you here is user data flow chart, or you maybe can say the user journey, right? Or information architecture or tree structure, or whatever you take, no problem. This is going to just to tell you the structured way of the information, right? Basically, whenever we are working on any type of project, so we just try to create two types of or you can say two types of chart, or we just use two type of methods here only, that is these two only: user data flow chart and the information architecture, right? So user data flow chart, how it looks something like this. So let's say this is, I'm just telling, let's say login screen, right? So after this I will go to, let's say, my dashboard, and after this I will go to my, let's say, add money to wallet. This is my screen. After this I'm going to do, let's say, add money, and let's say payment screen, and after this, let's say, successful photo, right? So this is a user data flow chart of a user going from one step to the last step, right? And the first step and the last step depends upon the activity you want to show. It can be the whole product also, it can be one single small activity also, right? It doesn't mean like you have to show the all this, right? So this user data flow chart also has some guidelines, or you can say, I'm not saying the mandatory, but required, or some good guidelines that if we follow, so it is going to help our users to understand more about the product or the activity that we are, right? We will talk about that later. Second thing, let's understand the information architecture. Now, one cannot say what will be there or what you will show on the dashboard, right? I know, I mean, dashboard screen is there, but with this user data flow chart, or maybe let's say user journey map, user journey map is something else, right? So yeah, this user data flow chart, we don't know what will be kind of things that we are going to place on our this particular screen. How I will go from dashboard to add money wallet? What will I do on the add money wallet that takes me to the Paytm screen? Is there any button? Is there any link? Is there any image? What are the things are going to be there? We don't know, right? So to make it more detailed, to make it more understandable, then we use the information architecture method. And this means we are going to list down the things that are going to be there just as a information only. We are not talking about the UI part. I mean, we are going to use this color, we are going to use this color. No, right? It is just a some basic structure or the information or the data that we are going to put on the screen. So for an example, let's take example of login screen here. So what else, what are the things that we are going to show on our login screen? We are going to mention here only. So let's say logo. First, we are going to put a logo, right? And let's say user email input. Second thing, user password input. So let's say a title, or let's say screen title. I'm just saying screen title, for example, login, or let's say instead of logins, sign in slash sign up. Right? Two things we are taking here. Right? User input, user password. Let's say forgot password. Let's say login button, or let's say send OTP button, whatever it can be, right? Terms and condition checkbox. What else? Version number, right? And things can go on and on. Right? So yes, now we are more clear about the screens. Now we are more clear about the products here, right? Now, if someone, if let's say you are a UX designer, right? You are not a UI designer. So as a UX designer, your job is to create these things, right? So if you have created these things, so let's say there is a UI designer who needs all these things, because that guy is need to create the screens, need to create the designs, and he needs some kind of solid documented information or the requirements that he has to put on the screens out there, right? So yes, this particular activity will help any of them. It can be a designer, it can be a product manager, it can be a stakeholder, it can be a CEO of the company, anyone. We can make them understand about the product without designing a product, right? Because these things are going to make us, going to give us a very, I would say, tip of the iceberg overview of the product, you can say, right? The very outer overview of the product. And it is a very good thing to have suggestions or discussions and feedback on these things a lot of times. A lot of times, I'm telling. If you think, okay, so someone has given you some structure, right? These are the things, screens that will come after this screen will come after this, and this is how it will go, right? So after getting this particular requirement from any of the stakeholder, you just made it, right? Let's say this is just came out of the thing. After creating this thing also, you should have a discussion with this person on the thing that you have created, right? Because after this also, there can be a lot of questions, a lot of possibilities, a lot of doubts that you or maybe the stakeholders can have, right? So this information architecture or user data flow chart are the activity that you should do with the collaboration only. You should not do as a single person, right? I just designed it, now let it be there just for the sake of your case study, just for the sake of your project manager has asked you to do. Because this thing is not only going to I mean, this thing is only you are not going to use it. Designers in the other team can be use it, product managers, stakeholders, and as well as this is very crucial document for the developer also, because developer cannot understand your Figma file. They cannot know, even you have made a prototype also, they cannot understand the actual flow of the screens. But on the other side, if we have this and this thing very well documented, so if you just share the Figma XAMPP file with the developer, they are going to understand it very quickly, because in their code also, or maybe you can say in the back end or the front end or the server side also, they also have to create the architecture for the product they are making, right? So this word architecture is not only limited to the civil engineer or something. This belongs to something where you want to create a project or a information available to everyone in a more intuitive or more understanding way, right? It is a base of the product, you can say. So that is why we need to create these user flow chart and as well as the information arch, right? So now going back to the okay, so maybe we can create this thing here only. We can just copy it. It's okay. So today we might be able to just complete the user flow chart only here, because information architecture is just small thing that we have already covered, right? So let me just delete it. Right now here I'm just going to put the very basic things that as a guideline that we need to follow in the while creating user data, right? So the first thing, let's say this I'm just calling, let's say, screen name, right? We are defining the guidelines for our user flow charts. Whatever the name of the screen, this will come inside this rectangle, you can say, right? Next thing, let's take this one and let's create a circle. Let's say start slash end, right? And we can, let's say, let's change the color a little bit. I'm just want to call it black only, right? So yeah, again, your choice, whatever you want to do, but color has to be different from the rest of this, right? So start and end. Next thing, maybe this one, right? So this condition, and I don't want to, okay, I'm just making a small option here so that it should be understandable to you, right? For this, let's say I just want to go with kind of this color, and this is going to be the same thing because rectangle is the screen name, right? So let's say screen name, right? And let's duplicate it. This we can put here, this we can put here. Good. So condition, then let's say yes and no, right? Just assume this is one component, this is one UI or guideline, this is one guideline, right? So next thing, maybe again some other things, just depends upon you how you want to take it. So I usually take it activity only, activity, right? So activity can be different activity. Let me try to show you a one real example that then you will understand, right? So we are going to use this first because it is our starting point, right? So let me call it start option. So by using this circular thing, we know this is our starting point. This is the starting point of our user data flow chart, right? So after this, let me just copy it once, right? And or maybe let's make let's put it here. Okay, so if it is a starting point, right? So the very first screen that we see whenever we open a application, right? So what it is, let's say we call it splash screen, right? What is a splash screen? Splash screen is the logo that you see usually, the full screen logo or whatever kind of, just like a Disney Hotstar we have, Geo Cinema, Zomato we have, Swiggy we have, right? So this is the very first thing that we see in whenever we click on the application, right? So very first thing, right? So next thing, what it is going to check, right? Now the condition comes. Let's copy this, let's place it here, right? So we will get a condition here. After going to the splash screen, we have a condition, and what condition is user logged in, right? So the condition here is user logged in. If user has already logged in, right? So where we are going to land? If user has already logged in, yes, the condition is, let's say, does user already logged in? Question is this one, right? So this is a kind of condition that we are putting. If the question, if the answer to the question is yes, so where we are going to go? We are going on our dashboard, correct? If not, so let's say user is not logged in. So what we are going to do is we are going to take him to the login screen, right? Now we are not going to put the rest of the things. I mean the other things. Now let's copy it and just place it here. After login, after coming to the login screen, right? My what will be my activities here? You can say now comes the activity. This, right? Again, it's your choice what kind of representation you want, right? So let's call it activity. I mean, let's say enter login details. This is my activity that I have to do. After putting the login details, it is going to check does user already exist or not, right? This is the condition. Let's say I have put my user ID and password and exist or not. This is the first condition that we are going to put. Similarly, let's say we also have another condition. Does user info, or let's say does login information is correct or not, right? This is another condition. So this might come after this only, because first we are going to check whether the user exists or not, right? If it is exist, let's say yes, right? So this is going to be a condition again. If user is existing, right? So does the user information correct or not? If let's say yes, so it is going to take us to the dashboard. Say yes. If it is not, right? So what we are going to get is we will be having, let's say, pop-up or let's say error message. Then and it will again take us to the login page only. Of course, if incorrect information. So again we are going back to our login page only. Cool. Now similarly, let's say after doing a lot of things, right? Everything from login or splash screen to going to our, let's say, placing an order, right? This is how you guys can use the user data flow chart. And I hope now you might have got a more clear idea on the things that we usually ignore when we are directly designing the screens, right? So after doing these kind of things, very small thing, but yeah, very effective thing, you will get more clarity on the product. You will be able to think about different user scenarios out there, right? So this is how you should and you have to create this user data flow chart about the product that you guys are making, right? But you will be saying, okay, so I am just doing a very small thing, very small change in existing product, right? So should I create it from the very scratch? I mean, the user flow chart of my user flow chart would be including all the features that they are having. No, you don't have to do that. So what you can do is, let me show you one example for this thing. I hope I might have like this, you can say, right? So I'm just giving a starting point, right? So this is one of my case study where I'm just introducing a new feature in the Paytm application for the metro booking, right? So yeah, here you can see I'm just giving a starting point, right? So this is my starting point. So Paytm app home screen. This is my first screen that I'm having, right? So I directly started from the home screen only. I'm not talking about the login, then checking the things, whether the information is correct or not. I'm not doing those things. Directly I'm going to jump into the main part here, right? So Paytm home screen app. After that, search for the metro ticket booking app, then select metro city or type, then enter the form from or to station, then add number of passengers or tickets, make the payments and view the tickets. Very linear flow that we are having here, right? Simple thing. Again, it depends the case study, the product, the feature that you are working. So you can directly jump to the module that you guys are working, right? So you don't have to create the whole user data flow chart for the case study that you guys are working on for now. But if you are working on the whole product, designing the whole product from login screen to everything, then you have to make these things, right? Because here I did design for like 1, 2, 3, not even this also, you can see, yes, this also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 maximum, I think. Yeah, 6 screens I just designed it, right? So I just talk about 6 screens here only 6 screens here, right? Says this is how you also have to make your user data flow chart, right? And these are some very basic things or guidelines that you can use just to distinguish between different elements of the user flow chart, so that person can easily recognize all the things, right?